Welcome to Sustainable Success. Hope everyone is having a great week. Here we are in August. God, where is the summer going? I hope everyone's having a great summer here, the Sustainable Success Way. We're now in August. And again, if you are new to the show, welcome. You found us here at Lisbon, here at the Voice America Business Channel, now that we've been here since January of 2025, after spending about almost 8 years on the original Voice America platform. Again, for those that have been following us since, wow, now 2017, May of 2017, we want to thank you because the show would not be where it's at today without you, as you've been a loyal audience. And again, we want to encourage anybody that's new to also follow us not only on Lisbon, also on Spotify, Apple, and also YouTube, where you can also, see a live stream of the show as well, and our Facebook page at Sustainable Success 2017. There you'll see many of our great guests we've had over the years, each and every week, as we put out at least 50 episodes a year. You'll get a ton of content that can help move you and your business to a whole new level. Feel free to make sure that you follow us there. And again, get plugged in for any content that can best serve you. And if there is any content you'd like to see on a future show, please let us know, and feel free to reach out to our team here at chris@sustainablesuccess.net. Today's show is being brought to you today by Alumni Direct. Alumni Direct is a new social media community platform dedicated to bringing alumni together from all different generational types and an opportunity to meet new people for the first time. Now, it is a membership program, taking out all the noise out of social media. You get to come in again and engage with the people you choose to interact with and share the content that best supports you. In addition, as a member, it offers a wide array of different services not available to the general public, both on a personal and professional level. Feel free to check them out at alumnidirect.com. That's alumnidirect.com. Well, we got a great show for you today. Somebody I personally know and I've known for quite some time. We're going to be talking about the 5 semantic secrets to overcome stress, anxiety, and illness naturally. Yes, naturally. Well, we live in a world now where everything is where you pop a pill and get a shot. No, not anymore. This is something we can do naturally. And we're going to be here with MarBeth Dunn, a leading expert in somatic healing and intuitive energy mastery. For over 35 years, she has helped empaths, sensitives, and high achieving women release stress, anxiety, and trauma by reconnecting with their bodies and regulating their nervous systems. She is the author of Waking the Healer Within, Overcome Stress, Anxiety, and Illness. She was featured as a mentor in the movie Bernie's Journey and was an expert in the upcoming films The Frequency of Miracles and the Art of Manifestation and The Frequency of Longevity. She's signature method blends somatic intelligence, energy work, and spiritual insight, empowering others to heal from the inside out and create calm, clarity, and emotional resilience in everyday life. And she has been featured on Fox, NBC, CBS, and here CW. And without further ado, we welcome MarBeth Dunn. MarBeth, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm always great around you, Chris. You have such great energy.
Well, we are so thankful. You and I are both troopers. I mean, you just got back from this wonderful cruise over to Europe through Paris and the Netherlands to Greek islands, Italy, and all in between. And I just got back from a speaking engagement in Vegas, and we're here. We're here because
We are
we're
here.
here.
Yes.
We show up. We'd love to, let's talk a little bit about, like, we always like to get the foundation or the backstory behind the topic that we're sharing with the audience. In this case, we're going to be talking about these 5 somatic secrets to overcome stress, anxiety, and illness naturally. Share with us a little bit of your personal background that that led for you getting into this area and now helping so many people, especially women, reclaim their power from it.
Well, Chris, for me, this is a passion project. It's something that I've lived because I had panic attacks. They started in college before exams, and I would start shaking and feeling out of my body and having the just tremors and pains shooting up and down my left arm. I thought I was having a heart attack, and I didn't know that I was having a panic attack. And it's something that reoccurred over the years, and also anxiety and stress, and I didn't know how to deal with it. And my doctor put me on Librium, as a way of just calming me down.
Calming the nerves.
Calming the nerves. Yeah. And I didn't realize that, well, first, that I was an empath, which is, I'm just very highly sensitive. So I feel other people's issues, and I even feel them in my body. I take them on. So I had to learn. And, it didn't come with a handbook. I had to figure that out on my own. So I did have these issues. I did deal with trauma, and I dealt with very severe asthma. And I didn't know at the time that my body was really my friend, and it was trying to communicate with me and let me know about issues that I didn't even realize I had as issues. So it took a lot of work, and I learned how to use a pendulum. I think on our last call, I was demonstrating that, and I can for the viewers that this is something that I use as a pendulum. And I've actually moved into muscle testing now, but this moves, and it will move in circles and back and forth and sideways. And you can use that as a tool, or I used it as a tool actually, to communicate with my subconscious to find out what's going on here. And, when you think that there's really something wrong with you, but there isn't, it's your body communicating with you and really trying to help you to understand, hey, pay attention to this. This is a message.
Well,
Hmm.
you just said that. I mean, and that was something that as a man I used to be so ignorant about back in my early days of like, if I had a pain or a persistent dull ache or a pain, I would just brush it off as, it's just, whatever it is, it'll go away.
Sure.
And then I would just dismiss it. I could either drink it away or numb it away some way back in
Right.
the old Chris. But nonetheless, it so true. The body doesn't lie. It always lets you know ahead of time, what that there's potential issues, and maybe something that could save your life too,
Absolutely.
and we have to be really aware, consciously and subconsciously aware of those. So I'd love to get your, insights, let the audience know. And the audience, this is for you to know both on a personal and professional level, because these are the things that could be impacting you professionally as well. That if by, listening to what MarBeth shares could help you in so many different ways.
Well, absolutely. In fact, businesses are losing millions and millions of dollars every year from burnout, employee burnout, employee trauma. They're maybe disengaged. They have maybe some mental illness, or they're feeling bullied. There's just a huge national cost of 322 billion in productivity,
Wow.
and 125 to 190 billion in health. So that is, just really something that needs to be addressed. We need to be able to help people who are experiencing burnout, or, just needing ways to relieve the stress and anxiety that they're dealing with. So many people are having money issues, and so they're working so hard and maybe holding down two or three jobs, and, just not disengaging from the day. They're just not learning how to disengage. And so it's really a burning issue for me to help people to just say, hey, you don't have to be stressed. You don't have to be anxious. There are some tools that you can do right now. Your body loves you. It is your partner in health.
That's true. I love the fact it is your partner in health, and it always gives you these signs or sooner rather than later. And it's only our minds that, have to be receptive and to be open to listen to what that is. Oh, I love it. Maybe if you could talk a little bit about, Marbeth, some of the things again, with the healing that you do, but maybe talk about again some of the challenges. Like what are some of the cues to what those challenges are, the
Yeah.
impact, like you mentioned how it can impact employee retention and burnout and all that type of stuff. In this case, burnout and how it could lead to burnout. That's definitely a challenge on a business level. And then even on a personal level, how it impacts our productivity, efficiency, innovation, and
On
creativity.
so many levels, especially if we're having somatic symptoms, for example, headaches, or, just exhaustion, or that anxiety, just feeling like constantly on edge, where you can, just start lashing out at people or just not even being aware of what this is doing to your body. And your body, as I said, it loves you, it wants to help you. So we need to be able to understand those messages. And a lot of them are simple. For example, and a lot of them are part of our language. So you could, that person is a pain in the neck, right? And you feel it. You're feeling that pain in your neck, and there's your body giving you a literal example. Every time I'm around Aunt Susan, I've got this pain in my neck. Simple, very clear. Or for betrayal, when I'm as an empath, I feel other people's issues, or I call them indicators in my body. And they're
Yeah.
just messages, we don't have to attach any judgment to them. So I might feel like a stabbing in my back under the scapula, which is letting me know that somebody's feeling betrayed. Now, we've heard that in our language, being stabbed in the back. That is a body message, right? Or I felt my hackles rise when I walked into that alleyway. Well, your body is telling you, hey, you got to be careful here,
Yeah.
right? Or we have knots in our stomach or butterflies in our stomach. We get all choked up with emotion. We have broken hearts or heartache.
Yeah. I guess there's a meaning to all that, right? That didn't just come out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Yeah, and that is, letting us know, okay, the body is communicating here. And it may not be that easy. Sometimes, for example, you might have physical symptoms that it doesn't seem to make sense from that, body message point of view. But what I find is really, really handy is something called open-ended questions, where you'd ask a question like, if I knew what that pain in my back was all about, what would that be?
Mm.
And you don't try to answer it yourself. You let the answers just flow in. And you'd be surprised at your body is like, wow, they want to hear from me.
Love it. So now, like, if you have a challenge, you got your body's giving you these messages, and and to let's say the average person listening right now that will be listening, that is really they may understand spiritual healing and energy on some level, maybe, but not to the level you obviously have been doing this for over 35 years. What would you say, like, okay, again, I guess, would it be safe to say you really got to connect with them on the challenge because they have a challenge? It could be a personal health challenge, it could be a business
Sure.
related challenge, it could be a combination of both, or a relationship challenge. And a lot of times we may not realize that what's going on in our body, energy wise, could be now playing a role in that. And that's something you can't just put a band-aid on. You have to
You have to, and
be
it
able to
may just
address it.
be the symptoms may just be caused by stress
Yeah.
or anxiety.
Yeah.
Our blood pressure goes up with, the stress, or there may be our body holds all of our old traumas.
Mm.
We used to think that everything was up in the head, and I know that there are a lot of therapists that do talk therapy, and they don't really get into so much of the body, although that's starting to be more common now to have more body-centered therapy. This basically started back in the 70s when, there are several of the people that were pioneers in this. would, just start to tap into the body and say, well, maybe we should be doing yoga or Pilates. And they're great ways to basically bring you in the body. Now, one of the expression is also, I'm beside myself with worry, right? So you're not even in the body. Your consciousness is outside the body, beside you. So what we want to do is bring you back into the body. Now, that may not be comfortable because your body may be holding trauma. And when you bring your awareness back in the body, it feels very uncomfortable. So
Yes.
I would suggest in that event to just do it slowly. Just try to bring your awareness in the body, maybe just for like a minute or two to start, and then start to expand that time.
Wow, I love that. Great, great thing. I know we got to go to break here in about little just over a minute, and I know when we come back, you're going to get into a lot of the semantic, in this case, what you're going to talk about the semantic secrets here. But if anything else you want to add or sum up what you shared here, Marbeth, in this first segment.
Yeah, I would say that, basically you want to always be safe. You want to not push through to try to understand something that you may not be ready to. So that's important.
Mm. So I hope everybody is taking notes here. This is great information. As everybody knows here, especially those that have been with us since the beginning. Again, we don't do anything surface here at Sustainable Success. We get to the root cause. We look at the foundation, both on a challenge and a solution level, to what has to be done to make something better. We can't just put a band-aid. Well, we could, but that doesn't mean that's going to fix things or make things better. You're just going to kind of just go through the motions. That's why we always bring in people like MarBeth in, because they are, again, solution based. Understanding what the challenge is to now look at how can we turn that challenge into an opportunity, then an opportunity into a result. We got more to come here, but we're going to have to go to break, everybody. So, again, don't go away. Make sure you share this episode with somebody you truly care about, especially somebody that's dealing with an enormous amount of stress and anxiety, both either on a work, personal, or both related basis, because this is the show for them. And we will be right back after the break. Welcome back to Sustainable Success. If you're just joining us, we're talking about 5 semantic secrets to overcome stress, anxiety, and illness naturally. Yes, naturally. We are not about band-aids here at Sustainable Success. We like to look at things from the foundation up. And that, of course, always is where we look at natural born processes, that where it starts with you. We're here with MarBeth Dunn. She's a leading expert in somatic healing and intuitive energy mastery. Been doing this for many years. So, MarBeth, you gave us kind of a foundation about, some of the challenges and messages that we receive both on a professional and personal level. especially in our bodies, because the bodies are always, they never lie to us. They
No, they
always,
don't.
always truthful to us. Let's get into some of the, I guess, the healing aspects, the five somatic secrets, so to speak. If you could share, if you like, you want to break each one on one by one, you could do so and use any examples. I think would definitely
Sure.
help the audience.
Absolutely. Well, the first one is to know that your body's not broken, that your body loves you, and it's protecting you. So your symptoms, they're not enemies. There's nothing wrong with you, but they are signaling you that, hey, I've got a message for you. So instead of judging, oh my gosh, I've got so much stress, I'm so anxious, I can give you these, very simple ways to release that stress and anxiety. So, and also if you choose the approach of being curious, you know, what's this about? Is there a reason this is happening? So I'll give an example of, which I use in my book. Um, when I was in Las Vegas, I just got back from a family trip in Europe, as we mentioned earlier. And this time, way as soon as I started to feel pings of anxiety about leaving my family, I started to practice the tools that I have to release it. And one of the ways that I use of releasing anxiety and stress is, well, I imagine myself grounding to the earth. I imagine that I have cords, energetic cords going from the soles of my feet and also the tip of my spine, because when I'm sitting, if I'm standing, it would just be my feet, but sitting, I do it from my spine also down into the center of the earth and just tapping into Mother Earth and feeling that love from the center of the earth coming up through those cords into my body. Now that brings me into my body. So now I'm becoming more aligned. I'm out of my head, which is where the anxiety is, or
Yep.
or not even in the body. It's just, that's where we are with that anxiety. Now I'm in the body and I'm feeling that love coming up through my feet, through the tip of my spine, and I feel it moving into every cell of my being. Just that love. And it just feels so good. And so I start here, I'm in the body and I'm feeling that love, and it makes me feel present right here and now. Another great way of doing that is to tap into your senses. What am I seeing? What am I hearing? What am I feeling in my body? Am I sensing something? What about taste? Am I tasting something or smelling something? So when you tap into your senses again, you are fully present in the here and now. We can't we can't fix things in the past. That past is gone. We can explore the past from the present, but we can't fix it in the past. We can't fix it in the future. We have to be in the here and now. And that is really important. So, your breath is your built in healing technology. It's a wonderful thing that you take with you. Well, every one of us is breathing, but for most of us, when we're stressed or anxious, we're breathing up here in our clavicle, the collarbone area.
Yes.
It's a shallow breath. It is actually called clavicular breathing. So, what we want to do is consciously breathe down into the belly. Now, there are all kinds of rhythms that we can use for the breath. We can inhale for the count of 4, hold it for 4, exhale for 4, and leave the air out for a count of 4. And then we can just do that in a circular way. And again, that's bringing you into the body. You're inhaling all the way down into the belly. I'll do it with you right now.
Yes, please do.
Okay, so we're inhaling all the way, the belly expands. One, two, three, four. We're going to hold it. One, two, three, four. Exhale, two, three, four, and hold it out. Two, three, four. So you will do that in a very simple count. There's so many variations to that. I'm also a Kundalini yoga instructor, and I will tell you there are like 200 different breathing exercises and meditations, and every one of them serves a different purpose. If you're doing holding your nostrils, for example, holding like your left nostril and inhaling through the right. And you hold that, you inhale for like a count of four, and then you hold it for six or eight, and exhale for, I'd say maybe 10. Then you have, a pattern going where every time you would inhale through the right nostril and exhale through the left.
Yeah.
Or you can do that and then inhale through the right, exhale through the left, and inhale through the left and out through the right. And every one of them serves like a slightly different balance in your body. In the alternate nostril breathing, you're coordinating the different sides of your brain. So, you're creating a balance in your brain, and it just feels really good. So that is like the second part is the breathing technology. So,
And like you said, there's different breathing method styles that people can do based upon
oh yeah.
preference. Yeah.
And basically what they do is they stimulate your vagus nerve. And there's a lot of hype right now about your vagus nerve. And well deserved, because what it does is it relaxes your body. And you're using your body to relax your body. How cool is that?
Yep.
Right? And by tapping into your body, you're becoming more present, which brings you into a more powerful state. And I would say that's your pivotal point of power, being in here, the here and now, being present. So another secret is to move. You think of like a little dog, who's just had a bath and he's just shaking off all of that water, and of course it gets all over you. So so what you can do is just shake. I like to bounce on my heels and shake my whole body. It's a great thing to do before you go to bed because you're releasing all that energy. So
Well,
go ahead.
like you said, I mean, like, I do this, I don't know if it's Tai Chi, but I do certain like kinds of movements and it like gets the lymph gland or the fluids
Yes.
moving. And I always feel more relaxed and like easier to go to bed than I would if I didn't do that.
I
Like you,
think that's really wonderful to do that.
yeah,
And actually I do it, and it's I learned it in Qigong.
yeah.
And but baseball pitchers do it on the mound before they throw that pitch. They start to shake. They shake their body. They loosen up. So what you're
I
doing.
wish I knew that back when I played third base because my arm paid for it.
Oh yeah. So basically, if you're bouncing on your heels and you just let your whole body just shake, and just like Taylor Swift said, just shake it off, shake it off.
Wow.
So we've gotten to movement. So that would be probably, I guess, number three. And
Yes.
then also we have your inner sanctuary, right? Find that safe space within you, just to be able to use visualization, perhaps. You really want to have a place that feels safe. And I can't stress that enough. Safety is so important. And one of the reasons that we don't feel safe is because of early trauma, or, we're just not being aligned with who we are. And so your body will let you know that you don't feel safe, perhaps through anxiety or going to go into the chakra system a little bit just to complicate things um, or illustrate them. But we have an energy system in our body, and our first chakra, which is at the base of your spine and forward, is about safety. It's and security. It's also about money and family and other things. But the key here is the safety element. It's really important that you feel safe. So there are ways that you can do that. I would say um, through visualization, where you just imagine that you're going to a place in your mind. I have a special place from many years ago. It was a little beach in Haiti where I used to live. It called Sun Beach. And I visualized myself there on a banana mat. It's rolled out of banana leaves
Oh,
and
wow.
has a beautiful smell to it. So in my mind, I smell the smell. I hear the seagulls. I feel the breeze from the ocean, from the bay, and also the palm trees. I hear them rustling, and I feel the sun on my skin. So I really pull myself into it with my senses, and then I can just hang out there and just imagine that I'm walking into the water and it's crystal clear and it just feels so delicious. So I just bring myself into that experience. That's my sanctuary and you can create your own. And it's just a beautiful way. You can do it before you go to sleep at night, just to relax you. It's just really lovely. And then another thing, the last one I would say, but there's so many more, is that your touch is medicine. And, especially your own touch. So very often I feel that I am if I'm stressed or feeling anxious, that I will like self-soothe, just by like stroking my chest or put one hand on my chest and my solar plexus, that area between your navel and your breasts, that just to feel that energy. And it's just so calming just to feel that. And also maybe even to tap a little bit on your
Yeah.
body.
The tapping, yes. That was
Yeah.
who used to Wayne Dyer, right? He used to do that. The
Oh,
Wayne.
it goes back a long
Yeah.
ways. Actually, it goes back into the 80s. Roger Callahan was the person who taught Gary Craig, and I was a student of Gary Craig's with the tapping. I reached the master level with it, and it's very powerful because you're tapping on your energy meridians. And for some reason, I don't know why, it's magic. It will totally help you release so many issues that maybe talk therapy might take a lot longer to
Yeah.
do.
No, these are all great points because these are all like again addressing the challenge to make it better, and then also looking at at the results, the solution to the results that people seek and don't have right now. I love it.
And the good news is that in my book, Awaken the Healer Within, Overcome Stress, Anxiety, and Illness to Reclaim Your Power, I
Mm.
have as a bonus chapter, I consolidated 21 of these different techniques that you can use. But I also get into and I tapping, how to release trauma, how to release stress and anxiety, and a lot of illness, because a lot of illness is psychosomatic. It's our body saying,
Yeah.
hey, you've been carrying too much stress. So let's create a little illness here. So you're going to have to take care of you.
Well, sometimes, like I said, it builds us up. It builds our immunity even more, depending upon the situation. No, I love that.
Absolutely.
I love
Yeah.
that.
So
As we get like towards the end of this segment, we got about little under 2.5 minutes, Marbeth. Anything else that you want to elaborate with the five semantic secrets, or anything you want to recap what really to really align with the audience to what you shared here in the second segment?
Yes, I just want you to have an open mind and be curious. What are these symptoms that I'm feeling? So many times I've thought I was coming down with a cold or flu, but it was really my background where I repressed so many emotions that when I was feeling sad because I was leaving my family, and my body was letting me know I'm like an ache in my chest. I thought I was coming down with the flu, but it wasn't. When I checked in, I asked my body, I just said, this is physical. And my body said, no. It's like, wow, okay, this is emotional. And when I allowed myself to be present with the emotion, to surround it with feelings of love, it dissipated, dissolved. I went to sleep. I never got sick. It wasn't about getting sick. It was
Yeah.
about, you're feeling this emotion. Tap into it, lady. So I did, and it dissipated.
Yep, yep, exactly. No, I love that. Such great information. We hope, listeners, that you're getting some great value in a proactive way. This way, again, you don't want to be reactive and be defensive. This is your life. This is your body, and like I said, it's that body that gets you around where you got to go to do the things necessary to grow your business and add value. So why not look into things that are going to help you to be more efficient and fluid in your movement and not be restricted by what you can't do versus what you can't do. So true. So true here.
Yeah, and aligned, be aligned with who you are and feel that body, mind, spirit alignment.
Exactly. Exactly. So anything, as we're about 30 seconds, we got to, go to break. Anything like in 10 seconds you want to leave an impact with the audience here, Marbeth, on what you
Woo!
shared?
Okay. A lot of pressure. Love yourself. Love yourself. You deserve it. You are beautiful and you deserve that love.
Ah, love it. Again, powerful. You got to believe in yourself. You got to fill your cup to pour onto others. Well, everybody, we got more to come when we come right back. We got more to come here with MarBeth. So don't go away. We just are hitting the tip of the iceberg here on all these particular areas that, again, are going to be important for you. So we'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to Sustainable Success. Our show is being brought to you today by Alumni Direct. Alumni Direct is a new social media community platform dedicated to bringing alumni together. And it also features now a new section called the From Athletes to Entrepreneurs section. These are for professional athletes that are now retiring and transferred into everyday life in terms of getting into new careers, perhaps buying a business, or now taking over a franchise, whatever that may be. But guess what? You don't have to do it alone. You can now form groups that are dedicated to other former professional athletes now doing the same thing, where now you can do it together. Yes, one of the many different types of groups that you can do online, over your phone, with Alumni Direct. If you'd like some more information about Alumni Direct, they also have a podcast dedicated to that area, From Athletes to Entrepreneur, with the founder and CEO, Rob Finkelstein. If you'd like more information about them, check them out at alumnidirect.com. That's alumnidirect.com. MarBeth, you've been giving such valuable wisdom and insights on the show today, and I know you had mentioned, you're an empath, like you are very sensitive to people's energy, and oftentimes, sometimes we got to protect your own energy and guard certain things that can impact you, even though you're trying to help them. You also have to protect yourself too. Can you just share a little bit more about to the listeners that maybe still unclear what an empath is. Maybe they are one and don't even realize it. And also how we can safeguard ourselves with that special gift.
Thank you. That's an excellent question, Chris. And I didn't know that I was an empath until about 20 years ago. So here I thought there was something wrong with me. I'd go into a crowd and suddenly my energy might drain, or I might feel very uncomfortable in my body. And it would basically impact me in my chest because I had that sensitivity to asthma. And it took me actually many years to figure out, we don't come with that handbook. We don't
Yes.
know what we don't know. And so now people have awareness. So people are highly sensitive or they're empathic. And what kind of empath are you? But to figure that out, it took a while. The first time I actually recognized that I was an empath, I was subbing for a friend at a spa, and I was filling in for her doing some Reiki. And I showed up at the spa, and everybody was very friendly, and I hugged the massage therapist. Well, the next morning, I woke up with a terrible headache. I don't get headaches very often.
Yeah, yeah. To get a headache if you're not prone to that, there's something. Yeah, but at least now you're aware. A lot of people would just be well, whatever, and not even put two and two together.
Yeah, I'll go take an Excedrin, but I had heard about taking on other people's energy. So I went back over my day, and when I got to the massage therapist hugging me, it clicked, and I was like, "Oh, this is her energy. It's not mine." So I immediately pushed it. I actually like physically pushed it out of my body. Just something that I did. I don't know how I knew to do it, but I just kind of just like went through the motions of pushing it out of my body. And I sent her love and I sent her peace, and my headache disappeared. So that was the first time I was aware of it. And then also, I became more aware of it as I would be around certain people, and then I would feel really icky. And I think we've all experienced that. There's certain people that are just energy drains.
Yes.
They
Or
drain your
vampires, right?
energy, vampires, or, you know, you, I, because I'm highly sensitive also, I'll feel a lot of empathy for someone. And then the next thing you know, I'm carrying their stuff, which I don't want to do. So the first thing I learned was to put myself inside a disco ball. So the disco ball, the mirrors of the disco ball would reflect outward, and I set the intention that nothing but love was getting in. Nothing but positive energy was getting in, and that was very helpful. So that's one of the first things I recommend to my empath clients so that they can, protect themselves. You don't have to take on other people's energy. Now what I do is I put on an Iron Woman suit. I I put on the helmet, the boots, the gloves, and the full armor. And again, and you do this all, just intentionally. It's not something you're not going to go out and buy a set of armor or a disco ball. You just intend, and your intention is incredibly powerful. So my body is also, because I'm highly sensitive, I'm also receiving messages if I'm going to go someplace and it's not safe for me to be there for whatever reason, my body will let me know. I might get like really bad knots in my gut, in my solar plexus, or I could feel it in my chest. And it used to happen to me if I was going to someplace from my apartment, my old condo. I'd walk into the hallway and all of a sudden I'd feel all this disturbance in my chest. So again, I would tap in and just see, oh, it's where I'm going. Okay. So I would just suit up and then I'd be fine, or I also could clear the energy of it being, an energy worker. So, we have our methods, but those are things that you can do right now if you're feeling other people's energy. Because basically we are much bigger than our bodies. We are a pure consciousness, pure awareness. And when we recognize that as energetic beings, our energy overlaps the
Yeah.
energy of other people, it can get very complex, especially in a crowd. I was just in France yesterday and 2 days ago in the Louvre and the Eiffel Tower, and they were so crowded. I totally suited up because I was feeling all this other energy and it was not comfortable.
It's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Like so people now that are aware, like you talked a little bit about some of the things you do. Like what would you say would be something like like it just something basic to most people they could do to guard it other than what you shared, like something even early on. So,
Yeah, well, we have energy cords that connect us to other people.
yeah.
And yeah, so before you go to sleep at night, just imagine that you are cutting any cords that are connecting you to anyone, even your loved ones, your children, your husband, your wife. It's okay because they will reconnect. Trust
Yes.
me. They will totally reconnect. But it helps you to disengage and clear your energy so that you can sleep well at night and function well. So that's something. I mean, we can get into a lot more depth into this subject. In fact, I will be having creating some programs as we speak.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So anyway, so I'm excited about that and to share a lot of the work from that I've shared in the book. The book is basically a love story, my love story with myself and that
Yeah.
I can share with other people.
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. No, it was some great information that you shared. And, this is so powerful, Marbeth. I love how you go really, really deep and connect the dots. It's so important in what we do here in the whole process of sustainable success. And I know that people listening can definitely appreciate that. Anything else that maybe, an empath that maybe that you think should know on any level, like, maybe certain other things they could be doing that can be helping themselves and then helping others.
Yeah, well, first of all, how do you know you're an empath? Isn't that a good
Yeah.
question? How do you know? So I think you do recognize that you're sensitive to other people's energy. And I think we all have it to some degree because we feel that. We feel energy when we walk into a party. We know if the party is going great and we, feel the vibes and it feels so good to be there because we're feeling that energy.
Hmm.
So we are feeling other people's energy, or you go in, to what was supposed to be a party and it's completely flat. Or you walk into a bar or restaurant and the energy just doesn't feel good. You don't want to be there.
Yeah, it feels heavier. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're saying.
So your body is communicating with you. Now, some of us are a lot more sensitive than others. And I think, if you check in with yourself, you would recognize, oh, that's what's going on. Maybe what I'm feeling isn't even mine.
There
Maybe
you go.
someone else's. And I find that about 85% of the people that I work with are carrying other people's energy within their whole body system. It's It's very interesting because we have more than one body. We have our physical body, but we also have an energy body
Yeah.
and an emotional body. And actually in Kundalini yoga, we were taught that we had 10 bodies, but I don't quite go there. You know,
Yeah. That can be a little complicated.
it's a little complicated, right? But yeah, but we definitely have these other bodies. And so just to be aware of like, oh, maybe what I'm feeling isn't mine. And, very frequently that's the case. That headache you're feeling may not be yours. Whatever symptom that you're feeling, you know, sometimes, like I'm just so entrained with Harrison, my my sweetie. Because I feel I feel what's going on with him a lot. And, I think that happens very often when we're with somebody for quite a while.
Well, you do. You like you said, you get to know them, you get to know their energy, their habits, their routines, and stuff like that. So yeah, absolutely. Being an empath, you've picked up on that quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as we're getting towards the end of the show, we got about, less than 4 minutes. Anything that you want to share about, anything with your books or anything like that that you like?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. One of the things that I did to make everything easier for people to grasp with all of the different exercises that I've offered to help you to release your issues, to release stress, anxiety, trauma, and as I have videos to go along with the book. So when you buy the book, you'll see the link, and that will take you to a page where I have different videos that can show you how to use a pendulum to connect with your subconscious and I guess your body, because your subconscious and your body are pretty synonymous. Um, and you can learn and even more really experience it through a video. I demonstrate muscle testing and how to tap, emotional freedom technique to release any um, symptoms or indicators that you might be experiencing.
Yeah.
It was so instrumental in my healing that, I'm so grateful to be able to share it with you.
Love it. And no, now that we're down to 2 minutes, I want to make sure the audience gets, how can they get in touch with you, MarBeth, whether on social media, email, any other way, and anything else that, you'd like to leave the audience with today.
I would say, yes, join me on my website, marbethdunn.com, and get my ebook. I think it is, where is it? It's over here. It is Five Somatic Secrets to Overcome Stress, Anxiety, and Illness Naturally. And when you get the ebook, you also get Mindfulness Made Easy. Mindfulness is being present with yourself, really tapping into that place where you are here and now and in the present moment, which, as again I said earlier, is your pivotal point of power. So you're not in the
Yes.
past, you're not in the future, you're in the place where you can make changes. And it's really important. And then you'll be on my list. I have a new program coming out in the next month. So I'm very excited about it. And it'll be based on my book and really help you go deeper into learning what's going on with me. How do I align myself? So, very fun stuff.
Well, MarBeth, thank you so much for taking time out of your day after getting back from your trip to be with us here at Sustainable Success. We greatly appreciate your time being with us here today.
Well, thank you. I wouldn't have missed it, Chris. I love being on your show.
Thank you. And we want to thank MarBeth again. We highly encourage you to reach out to her, get to know her, and definitely connect and take advantage of the things that she could help you with. And listeners, we want to thank you each and every week joining us here at Sustainable Success. Again, we are committed each and every week in bringing in subject matter experts like MarBeth in to help move you and your business to the next level. Till then, everybody, have a great rest of your week. Take care, and we'll see you next Thursday.